Most children do not become less resilient because life gets harder. They become less resilient because adults keep removing the hard parts. What feels helpful in childhood can quietly become helplessness later. In this video, you will see the everyday parenting habits that actually teach resilience and the ones that accidentally teach dependence. Your child is struggling to tie a shoe. You watch for a few seconds. Then you kneel down and do it yourself. Not because you want control, because you're tired, because you're late, because it's faster. Later that day, your child gets frustrated with homework. Again, you step in, you explain, you guide, you simplify, you make the struggle disappear. Deep down, you already know challenge helps children grow. But in real life, challenge is messy. Challenge takes time. Challenge creates frustration. And most days, you are simply trying to get through the day. The problem is not that parents want to help. The problem is that children learn from what help repeatedly looks like. A child does not remember every lesson you teach. They remember what happens whenever something feels difficult. Because every repeated interaction teaches the brain something about mistakes, about emotions, about failure, about discomfort, about their own ability to handle life. And many of those lessons happen without parents ever realizing it. Resilience is not built during one big conversation. It is built through hundreds of ordinary moments that seem too small to matter. Let's look at the ones shaping your child right now. Your kids won't remember every single lesson you taught them when things were going great. But they will remember exactly how you lost it when everything started falling apart. Picture this. It's a hectic Monday morning, and you're already running late. Suddenly, your child knocks over a full glass of milk. You freeze. Inside, you're screaming, "Oh my God, I do not have time for this right now." But look at your child. They're standing, frozen, staring straight at you. In that exact moment, their brain isn't just looking at the spilled milk. It's scanning for a much bigger answer. When things go wrong, how do my parents react? Your kids aren't looking for your advice first. They're borrowing your nervous system. If you instantly react with anger or panic, their brain logs a dangerous lesson. Mistakes mean danger. Over time, they stop seeing mistakes as problems to solve and start seeing them as threats to avoid. Every single time you panic over a small mistake, that mistake becomes a massive threat in their eyes. But an emotional reaction isn't the only way parents accidentally break a child's resilience. There is something else, something much more common. Many parents think they are building a child's confidence, but in reality, they might just be building dependency. Look at the little things. Your child struggles with their shoelaces, and your immediate thought is, "It's faster if I just do it." They forget their homework, and you quickly text the teacher. They get into a fight with a friend, and you instantly call the other parent to fix it. You think this is love? Not quite. In those exact moments, their brain internalizes a dangerous pattern. Whenever something gets hard, someone else will handle it for me. Here is the truth. Every single time you rescue your child from a minor struggle, you take away an opportunity to practice. The cost? When they grow up and that safety net is gone, they will either avoid challenges entirely or completely freeze under pressure. Your child doesn't lack confidence. They lack the experience of overcoming difficulties on their own. Do you really want them to be helpless when life gets tough? But here's the scary part. The damage of this rescue trap doesn't show up right away. It hides quietly and only reveals itself when they face their very first real failure. Not all the pressure weighing down on your kids comes from school. Sometimes, a massive part of it comes from inside their own home. Think about the last time your child brought home a test. The grade wasn't even bad. It was a solid B, maybe an A-. But what was the very first question out of your mouth? Why did you lose these points? In your head, you're just thinking, I just want them to reach their potential. But look at your child. The pride instantly drains from their face. Here is the truth. Some kids aren't afraid of failing. They're afraid of disappointing you. In that exact moment, their brain creates a dangerous link. It connects performance with attention, validation, and emotional safety. The cost? They grow up carrying a heavy belief. I am only worthy when I perform well. Do you really want your child to feel like they have to earn your love? When every single conversation always loops back to results. Children learn that achievement is what defines their worth. But true resilience doesn't just need challenges to grow. It also needs a safe place to land. Many parents spend hours managing every little detail of their child's life, but they spend only a few minutes actually entering their emotional world. Look at what happens at the end of the day. You check if their homework is done. You ask about their chores, and then you review tomorrow's schedule. In your head, you're thinking, I'm doing everything for them. But you forget one thing. You never ask, how did you feel today? There is no gentle hug when they look exhausted, no meaningful eye contact when they go quiet. You are managing a schedule, not connecting with a child. A deep bond is what creates true safety, and only when they feel safe can their brain freely explore, experiment, and bounce back from failure. Discipline creates the boundaries, but emotional attachment gives them the strength to live within those boundaries. The cost? Without this bond over time, children will start looking for safety and validation somewhere else. Do you really want your child to become a stranger to you? Kids don't become strong just because they are constantly pushed. They become resilient when they know they don't have to fight alone. And when that safety system exists, something else, something much deeper, begins to take shape. Identity. One day, you will no longer be there to protect your child. But there is one thing that will definitely stay with them, and that is how they view themselves. Think about the painful moments your child will inevitably face. They lose a major game. They get cut from the team. They get rejected or suddenly left out by their group of friends. In your head, you're constantly worrying, I just want them to have a better future. But that future depends entirely on how they handle these rejections. Confidence comes from success, but resilience comes from surviving failure. When you give them responsibility, hope, and trust during hard times, their brain builds a deep sense of personal capability. They learn that a struggle is just something they experience, not who they are. The cost? If a child's self-worth is tied only to winning, every single failure turns into a massive identity crisis. They will ask themselves, who am I if I'm not perfect? The ultimate goal of parenting is not to raise a child who always wins. It's to raise a child who doesn't fall apart when they lose. Because a person's resilience is never built in big, dramatic moments. It is shaped in thousands of very ordinary moments. Resilience is not shaped by what you teach in moments of calm. It is shaped by what your child repeatedly experiences when life feels slightly hard, and you are right there, deciding whether to step in or step back. What builds strength is not protection from struggle. It is repeated exposure to manageable struggle, with emotional safety still intact. Some parents just react to discomfort. Others notice the lesson hidden inside their reaction. The difference is not knowledge. It is what they interrupt in themselves before they act. You are not raising a child who avoids difficulty. You are raising a child who learns what difficulty actually means. If you notice yourself stepping in too quickly sometimes, write down one moment in the comments where you paused instead. Not to judge yourself, just to see the pattern clearly. If this helped you see parenting moments differently, there are more reflections like this in upcoming videos. Take what helps, leave what doesn't. Children do not remember perfect parenting. They remember what you did when things became imperfect. #10.